I'd trade Duncan Robinson for LeBron James. And the Lakers win that one. So
Next thing I wanted to talk about was a little segment I kind of made up on the fly. I call it the NBA GM Bachelor's Party. So essentially, if the salary cap and the trade restrictions were completely suspended, which means you don't have to match salaries by like 5% or whatever it is, what move are you making? So you get to let loose for one night like a bachelor party. I think a lot of people would have some good opinions on this one. I'm curious to hear what people think. So please let us know on all of our platforms. Come give us a shout on Reddit and downvote us to the realm of hell.
So money doesn't have to match. You don't need to bring into draft picks. Yeah, okay. So you can do whatever you
trade
want.
Whoever you want. Now, the trade should be within reason. I should say that.
Yeah.
So as an example, I wrote, you can't trade Stephen Curry for Kendrick Nunn.
Okay.
Not to diss Kendrick Nunn, but nope, that trade's never happening.
Okay.
So that type of trade is not allowed. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right.
I'd trade Duncan Robinson for LeBron James. And the Lakers win that one. So I actually didn't want to research this because what I really wanted to do was think of something on the fly while we were watching this, while we were recording this, and think of something that could assist a franchise. And I think that the only one that I could really come up with would be Jamal Murray to the Toronto Raptors.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Adding more scoring and adding a point guard who can get you those points and is still that, he's that lethal offensive threat, but he can also give you a little bit of defense. I think that he'd be the guy that you'd swap for, off the top, maybe Fred VanVleet, maybe, but that's a trade that goes both ways. That's a trade that would probably help Denver. It'd give Toronto a little bit more size in the backcourt.
Okay.
But Fred VanVleet's one of the best one-on-one defenders, pound for pound.
I do like Freddie.
Yeah,
that's a tough one. I actually like the idea because Jamal Murray, I think as much as Denver probably loves him, they paid him $35 million or whatever. Giving him a new situation, kind of getting him off that stale Denver situation could be beneficial for him and for the player that comes into Denver, getting to play with Jokic. They're going to improve, I think. So that's a fair one. I like where you're going with that. Did you have anything else to add with that trade?
Another one I'd like to see Andre Drummond go to the Boston Celtics.
Okay.
So the guy, I really think that the Celtics should look at moving off Kemba Walker. So possibly trading Kemba Walker for maybe Sexton and Drummond, possibly needing to throw in some picks there because that's not going to work for the way that Cleveland are valuing Sexton right now. But it could be Garland coming back in return, which I also don't mind for Boston. It makes them younger. It gives Garland a new opportunity, possibly better coaching staff, better situation for him, and allows him to get to the rack a bit more. And also Drummond adds that rebounding that they're missing. And it'll also give them an opportunity to move off Thompson or Tice, depending on who you get more back for, which would be Tice. I don't think that's even close anymore.
That's an interesting one, actually. That one makes a lot of sense. Maybe not for Cleveland because they might value Garland and Sexton. But nonetheless, I like where you're coming from with that. My trade was straight up Karl-Anthony Towns to the Golden State Warriors for James Wiseman. I would love to see Towns on the Warriors. I think because the Warriors are in win now mode, they don't have time necessarily. Time is a relative term in this stage for Wiseman to develop into that championship level big man. Towns is arguably already that. He can shoot the ball. He can defend the paint, although he has a lot of room for improvement there. And he's a pretty decent passer. I think he would fit extremely well next to Curry, Thompson, and Draymond. And also Minnesota gets a potential franchise big guy in return. And it also probably makes Towns happy to get out of Minnesota and to go to beautiful San Francisco for some nice year-round weather. And, I mean, who doesn't want to hang out with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson?
I think he's been struggling a little bit this year, so giving him a new situation would, make his career development go through the roof.
I think Steve Kerr would be drooling if he saw he was going to get Towns. That's such a he's got so many tools.
I'm going to try and make the trade work because I actually like that. I think that's a really good trade, really good for both teams. It really gives Minnesota the chance to develop and bring on a new situation to grow with Anthony Edwards, and it also removes, that stale franchise mentality that Karl-Anthony Towns has. Unfortunately,
almost like a bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah. He's arguably their best drafted player ever. If you could compare that to Kevin Garnett and so on and so forth. But, talent-wise, he has everything you need in a big man. But I think James Wiseman has that career trajectory as well. So let's look at Karl-Anthony Towns being traded to Golden State as a serious trade.
Okay, is the bachelor party's over now. It's back to all the wives.
This is reality.
Yeah.
So Karl-Anthony Towns moves to Golden State. Golden State in return sends Minnesota Kelly Oubre, James Wiseman, Kevon Looney, and some draft picks, I would assume. So that works as far as financials. They're saying that Golden State are worse off by 11 wins.
They're both worse off, apparently.
Significantly doubt that. But
see, this whole metric thing, I never even looked at.
It doesn't make any sense.
Hollinger's analysis, I just ignore that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So what that would allow Golden State to do is then win. Yeah, basically.
Who'd have thunk of that?
Yeah.
Winning.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But also, the benefit is also for Minnesota, like you said, gets the bad taste out of their mouth with Towns. They may not end up keeping Oubre because he's on a 1-year deal for $14.5 million.
Yeah.
But they keep Wiseman at a pretty good contract. He's going to turn into a really good big guy. As I've said, a future Defensive Player of the Year candidate, among other things. He's got great offensive skills.
And you get to pair him with Edwards.
And maybe Russell if you want to keep him
No,
around.
I'd move Russell as
Move
well.
on?
Yeah, get rid of Russell. I think that the best situation for Minnesota would be to tear down and hand Edwards the keys and just go, mate, this is your franchise now.
That's the 2 top draft picks from this most recent draft. So then how good is that for Minnesota?
It is. That's great for Minnesota.
Yeah.
I could see this trade actually happening too. I don't think Minnesota would be very happy about it. Then again, you're getting arguably the best big man we've seen out of the draft class since Nikola Jokic. So
hopefully we can make it happen. Put it out in the universe and it happens.
Yeah, if we speak about it enough, I'm sure someone will mention it on a big blog somewhere and then it might end up happening.
Yeah.
It's the way these things work,
Yeah, we have that influence.